Uh, all right, I'm high energy, folks, so stay with me, all right? Stay with me, okay? So, not a problem. So, to introduce myself, I really think of myself as in a collective manner, not as an individual manner, so bear with me. And when I think about that, we come by a lot of different names. Troublemakers, rabble-rousers, change agents, community organizers, advocacy, advocates, you name it. And some of you maybe have those titles or have carried those titles throughout time. And I'm no different, right? So my name is Luis Perales. I'm the CEO of the Institute for Transformative Education. But I really push forward, at least these days, talking about I'm a hope dealer and I'm a positivity pusher, right? And I use that language because I think right now there is this cloud, right? And I've had these conversations with different people. And when we talk about community and what Changemaker High School does or ITE does, it's really combating negativity. At the end of the day, it's the biggest killer of opportunity, right? So when it comes to young people, and that's the work we do, we're a high school, we continually feed them negativity. We continually feed them, as a society, I think, in my opinion, we feed them all the negative that's happening in the world. So just click on the news, just scroll through your social media feed. And so what do? We are trying to flip the script. We're trying to put young people in positive kind of spaces and helping them to actually become those change agents today and not looking at them as a resource for the future or a vehicle. A lot of people say we're going to build up the future leaders, and that we don't do that. We put young people in those positions now. So I'll give you an example. When we talk about community, I'll go back to my personal story. I think of 5 things that I was taught growing up in an immigrant community. And growing up with, my mother was an immigrant to this country. My father wasn't. He's been here since before this was the U.S. His family's been here since before this was the United States. And I think about the 5 things that she gave me, right? And I think about our current time when I think about community. And number 1, I'll go through these quickly. Number 1, it's about family first, right? Immigrant communities and immigrant families always think about family first. And it's not unique just to an immigrant community. It's family. But in this era, I think it's about expanding that, because I remember my mom taking in all kinds of folks into our house and saying, yeah, that's a cousin or that's an uncle. And none of them were cousins or uncles. So her definition of family was very broad. And I think that's what we need. Community, we need to start thinking of each other as family, because once we move into that realm, then the conversation shifts, right? Number 2, she taught me hard work, right? And I see that happening in Tucson a lot. There's a lot of hard work. You heard some of it here, some of the work that you've engaged in, some of the work that young people have engaged in. Like, it's hard work. There's no silver bullet for any of these issues. It's just hard work. Pounding the pavement, knocking on doors, talking to people, doing that work. Number 3, we teach never to quit. You don't quit. You don't stop. And that was taught to us. So when we talk about resilience, that's the essence, right? You don't quit. That door's closed, find another door. That door closes, build a door, right? That's just how you do it, right? So I think that's the essence. You have to work hard. Number 3, you have to help other people. Like, you have to help others. And I think the most beautiful work, that we've done at Changemaker High School is when our young people interact with people that are completely different from them. And engaged in work is completely different. Sometimes the environmental scene only speaks to itself. And it's beautiful because the conversations are great, but what would happen if we would start to talk to the other sectors? The ed sector, the folks working in politics, the folks working in the immigrant rights movement, in the criminal justice scene. I mean, you start really then getting into some interesting conversations, right? And number 5, and I think this is really the most important, is what we do with our young people. You have unrealistic ambitions. For all intents and purposes, I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be on this panel. I shouldn't be speaking to you. I should have succumbed to all of the stereotypes and all of the craziness that I was fed as a young man, right? Like, this is who you are, this is what you're supposed to be, and this is what you're supposed to achieve, and you have some crazy unrealistic ambitions. And I think that's the American project, right? And then voila, things happen, right? So what we do at Changemaker High School is we really infuse these things into what is the EdSpace. And so talk about what opportunities exist. The young people are creating opportunities. They're just doing it themselves. They're amazing. And I tell them, if somebody hasn't told you or given you permission to be amazing, let me tell you right now, go ahead, be amazing. Just do it. Like, you don't need to wait, because everybody's like, when you're 20-something, then maybe you can. No, don't. Just go. Do it. And if you mess up, that's fine. Try it again. And amazing things happen when it happens. Recently, we just received word 4 of our young ladies who are now in college, graduated last year, they went after neighborhood reinvestment dollars for flooding that was happening in the community. And they identified a park close to our school. We're on 22nd and Belvedere. And they engaged the community. They did the door knocking with the school. They talked to their teachers. They did all this huge project that was 18 months long. And at the end of it, $229,000 of county money was invested into a community that 4 young girls at the age of 17, 18, decided they were going after. And I told them, it's not going to happen. And the other thing is opportunities that exist, the opportunities that young people are creating. So we have 2 students here that are from Changemaker High School. And I brought them here because this is our job, to bring them into this space, to introduce them to amazing people, for them to inspire you and you inspire them back, right? Because that's building community. Then you have another whole set of young people that are ready to launch and take over this work and do it in the most interesting and innovative ways that blows my mind every time I interact with them, right? They give me hope, right? They give me utter hope. And sometimes it's difficult to be in some of the toughest situations because some folks have lost that. I'm just hearing all the negative all the time. It's overwhelming. Maybe some of you experience that. So for me, I go back to, who am I? I'm a positivity pusher. I'm a hope dealer, right? I'm bringing that back to the table. And I'm saying, it doesn't matter what they put in front of us, we've already been through that, right?